Hello there. My name is Josh Ezel. I'm the owner of Breakthrough Handyman Services, and I want to welcome you to the top handyman team here in the Valley, soon to be Arizona. You are what make up Breakthrough Handyman Services. We only take the top handymen that we could find, and you beat approximately 25 other handymen to get this position to be sitting in front of this video right now. Because we think you have the skills and the customer service necessary to go out and represent Breakthrough Handyman Services to the public. Congratulations. Welcome to the team. The first thing I want to do is share a brief history of where Breakthrough Handyman Services comes from. I got into real estate in 2008. And I immediately knew I wanted to do property management. Fundamentally, I wanted to sell to investors, funnel them into property management, and keep our clients forever. And that was going to be the retirement for my family. My dad's a pastor. My parents have never made a lot of money, and I'm an only child. So I have a huge sense of obligation to take care of my parents. At the same time, I'm a single dad. My daughter just started college, and I need to take care of my daughter. And I felt that having a property management company and being in real estate was going to be the best way to do that. So 2008, got going right at the fall of the market. Come 2010, we'd taken off to the point that I actually needed some help. So my dad retired from pastoring for the first time and came and joined my brokerage, which wasn't our brokerage that we have now. It was a smaller brokerage back in the day. And he joined that brokerage with me, and we ran the property management team for, about 5 years before in 2015, we launched Breakthrough Real Estate and Property Management. That's when we finally broke free from all other brokers. I got my designated broker's license, and we officially launched the Breakthrough concept. What we thought was, in real estate, there was a huge need for better education, better training, better support, so that way agents can succeed. The real estate industry has a horrible reputation for, agents not succeeding, as well as sometimes not taking great care of clients. And Breakthrough was founded to take care of both of those things, to make agents succeed while also taking care of their clients. That exploded. Now, fast forward to 2017, that's when the real estate market really started to take off. And we had one summer where in property management, at that point in time, I think we were managing about 76 properties or so for, about 250 doors. And we could not find a good vendor to save our life. We would call electricians. They would come out, but they would charge $125, $150 just to come out. We would call AC people. They would come out, charge a fee to come out, be there for 3 hours, not even, charge $600+ and then be on their way. Meanwhile, they could not nail down a window. I mean, it was just terrible. We were doing turns that were taking 6 months when they should take not even, hopefully, 6 days. It was just terrible. We had one guy whose apartment flooded, and he was out of his apartment for over 3 months. And it's just a single 1-bedroom apartment. It was terrible. So one day I looked at my dad. He was my partner in the brokerage. And I said, Dad, I think we can do better. He was not about that. He did not want to take on another project. The brokerage and property management was enough for him. And after some poking and prodding, I finally got him to allow us to hire 2 guys inside our property management company and only work with our property management company. And it worked. Actually, we started off with 1 handyman and eventually built up to 2. So fast forward to 2019, the end of 2019, my parents, who were approaching, their late 60s, finally decided to retire. So we were able to take care of that. I took over all the properties, all the companies officially by myself. And at that point in time, that's when we launched Breakthrough Handyman Services to the public. We officially launched to the public the beginning of March 2020. Since then, we've proudly helped over 2,500 individual customers, and our average customer calls us back approximately 3 to 4 times so far. Hopefully that will continue to keep going. But ultimately, over 2,500 customers, helping them at least 2 or 3 times each, man. We have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful service. I jokingly call us the fast food of construction. Our average appointment is approximately 3 hours long. So you guys do 2 to 3 jobs per day, which means that you get to help a lot of people, hopefully at least 10 people per week. 10 people per week, 50 weeks a year, you're going to be helping 500 people per year. That is absolutely awesome. It's a huge honor, but it also comes with a huge responsibility. Our company was started as the answer to everything people hate in the construction industry. What are all the things that drive you nuts about other companies? Like all the vendors, all the satellite, cable, electricians, plumbers, you name it, any other service industry, roofers, what is it? They all give ridiculous windows. Okay. I'll be there somewhere between 8 and 5. And then oftentimes they'll show up at 5:15, right? Another thing that I absolutely hate is when they're just not on time in general. Time is valuable. And if a vendor doesn't respect my time, it's just they're there to service the customer. 8 o'clock means 8 o'clock. At the same time, I hate the vague bills. Like a lot of contractors, you think you're going to be here, or a lot of other vendors, you think you're going to be here, and then at the end of the appointment, you're surprised with a bill twice as high, right? Or you say, I'll be done by 5. And then 5 o'clock rolls around, there's no whatever, you're having to fish. Hey, when are you going to wrap up? How much is this going to cost me? Dragging it on. Oh man, I know certain contractors that have taken, months beyond what they committed to up front. And then during that process, jacked up the price. Ridiculous. There are a lot of things wrong with the construction / vendor industries. Breakthrough, in this context of the handyman company, is the answer to those things. Breakthrough Real Estate and Property Management answers property management and the brokerage stuff. We could get into all that stuff. It's fantastic. But you are now part of Breakthrough Handyman Services, and pride yourself on that. We are the answer to everything people hate. But that also means we're trusting you to live up to the stage, to what we promise our customers up front, because that's what our company does. We get you those appointments. You're the one that actually carries it out. And that's why the 10 steps are so important. So ultimately, we deliver on our promise when we fill your calendar. At that moment, it's up to you. Okay? So here's some of the things that I think that we answer. Okay? We don't do windows. We show up on time. All right? We don't do a trip charge. We have a minimum 1 hour appointment, which we'll get into, but we don't have a trip charge. All right? Our work is warranted. We don't do any markup on materials. We are reliable. Today, we actually got in trouble because a guy didn't realize we had an appointment set. So he kept getting these notifications, and we had an appointment set, and we showed up. He's like, oh, yeah. And it didn't dawn on him that we would actually be there on time. It was crazy. All right. We, let's see. We're very transparent. Okay, our prices are right on our website. How long things take, right there on the website. When we book the appointment, we tell them how long it should take and how much the appointment should cost. When you show up on site, you would then again verify with the owner, how much is this going to be, because it's going to be this much time, right? The moment anything changes, you guys let people know. We are very transparent, okay? We're affordable. We're not the cheapest by any means. We're certainly not the most expensive, but we are affordable, especially compared to the contractors, the plumbers, the electricians, the HVAC people, whatever your niches are, go to that specific thing, and we are definitely more affordable than them. All right. And last but not least, we are prompt. We try to get there same day if we can, next day. So that's also part of how we keep you full, is if you have one cancellation, we know we're going to have another person call. So give us an hour, you'll probably have another one really quick. Not a big deal. People want our services. People want our services because you, the handyman, represent breakthrough to the world. Pride yourself on that. Follow our 10 steps. Take wonderful care of our customers. Okay? Once that appointment is set up, it is your appointment. It's not finished until that appointment is either completed or properly taken off your calendar. Okay? We expect a smooth ride. We don't do drama. We are professional, and that's what sets us aside as a handyman company, a construction company. You handyman deserve better as well. Okay? There's a lot of unprofessional companies out there. There's a lot of people who break promises. We're the professional handyman company for you. We pay you well. We want to pay you well because we want you happy. We want to make sure you're taking wonderful care of these customers, because the customers are who ultimately take care of all of us. All right. And that ultimately is the Breakthrough family. Okay. So welcome to the team. That's a brief history. Now let's jump right into your orientation. The first thing we're going to cover are our 10 steps. Our 10 steps are the policies and procedures that you have on site. They are carried out time and time again. Think of it this way. Would you want to fly in an airplane if that pilot did not run through his checklists every single time the exact same way to ensure a perfect flight every single time? Let me ask another question. Would the fast food we all love today be the same thing every place we go if in every direction or every location they were allowed to kind of tweak and create their own recipes? A Big Mac is a Big Mac every single time you order it, right? A Taco Bell burrito or whatever is the exact same way everywhere you order it, and we actually get disgruntled if it's just a hair off, right? That is Breakthrough Handyman Services. We do the 10 steps every single time. All right, you're going to encounter a lot of different situations where people will tell you otherwise, but rest assured, this orientation is there to prepare you for how to handle every single situation you're going to encounter. Okay? We need to empower you because you are the handyman. You are the professional. As you're going to discover, we go out of our way to keep you, the handyman, in front of the customers to empower you. We don't want them calling the office behind your back. The office is not going to handle those situations. You are the expert. We yield to you for the customer service, for the communication, for the materials, for the process, for all that stuff, because that's your forte, right? And we want to make sure that our appointments go well for everyone. So that's you, the handyman, right? The 10 steps are our Bible. Let's jump right in. These 10 steps and our ICA are the documents you've already signed, so it's already quote unquote official. Welcome to the team. Right now, we are just diving deeper into those documents because literally they are everything. They are our Bible. They are our 10 steps once you get on site, time in and time again, as I discussed. And if anything goes wrong, it's how we handle everything. And ultimately, they are there to protect everybody. Okay, so if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call the office, 602-938-5415. Keep that number handy. You're going to be using it a lot. 602-938-5415. All right. This is the handyman job description and on-site actions. All right. This is, you're going to hear this about 40 times throughout this video. This is our Bible. Memorize it. Make sure you take it with you. Make sure you live by this. It never varies. No matter what you hear, no matter what you see, no matter what occurs, there's a way to handle it within these 10 steps. Okay. So before you break any of them, make sure you call the office to get permission about, or find out how we handle certain situations. But this training is to equip you because you are the expert. You are the boss. Under no circumstances can you let the customer think that you don't have final say. You take payment. You warrant your own work. You get to say yay or nay. Like if you're comfortable doing the job, you're the one that's talking to the customers. We're not there. That's all he said, she said, and we're trusting you, the handyman, to create a raving fan with your customers. Okay? Once we schedule the job, that's all we can do. It's on you. So you're going to notice the first thing there is we never miss an appointment. Okay? If you get sick, if your car breaks down, we have ways of handling it, which we're going to get into. Okay? Our company can only invest in filling great handymen's calendars. Okay, we want all the great handymen we can find because we want to fill your calendar to help as many customers as possible. Okay, and creating raving fans, collecting the funds at the end of the job, getting that 5-star review. That is all on you, the handyman, performing your job there on site with the customer. The office has nothing to do with that relationship at that point in time. It is purely you and the customer, and you need to hear, listen, work with the customers to make sure that at the end, they know exactly what they're going to be paying. They are happy with the work, and that there is no doubt they love you, the handyman, at the end of that appointment. Only then did our company win. How does our company fill your calendar? That's what's freaking cool. And behind the scenes, that is what we do all day, every day to make sure you have a full-time job. So check this out, okay? We never miss an appointment because the company spends at least $2,000 a week just on advertising and about another $1,500 a week just on office. So we're spending about $3,000, $3,500 a week just to keep you guys out there, okay? So in the context of our company bringing in $10,000 a week, half of that goes to you, $3,500 goes to literally bills, and then the rest of it goes to our growth, our overhead, our savings, and hopefully some's left over for me at the end too. You guys literally at this point in time are making the money. This is a growing company, and we are investing every single penny back into this company, and we rely on you guys. We're a team. We're a family. It's freaking awesome. Okay, so here's what we do. They'll go handyman near me, right? And there we go. So here's me because this is I'm the owner, right? So they know that. But down here you got what typically shows up, right? Ace always, because they are a franchise company. They're able to do right now they're just trying to grow a lot because they just launched this and it's honestly not doing very good. So they're doing everything they possibly can. But this here is a prime example. Anybody can pay to have an ad. Okay, as long as you have a good marketing team, you can have anything here on the top page, right? Star Painting. So they are a painting company. So they are coming into the handyman search criteria. And this is where we ask ourselves, one out of how many handyman inquiries is actually painting? And wouldn't they have just typed in painters near me or something like that? So I wouldn't, I wouldn't be, I'd be annoyed with my marketing people if we showed up with this, right? Here's another ad. There's another ad. Now we finally get to, this is what comes to the real search. Right here next to the map, even on your cell phone, if you type in anything, it like, car dealers near me, best restaurants near me, churros near me, whatever. Google will pull 3 companies and put them in front of you. And this is literally the only place you can go to where Google's going to give you a 100% honest answer about your search. Okay, above, these are all ads, as we proved. Painting company, whatever, anybody can pay to be up here, right? And then what's typically down below? Yelp, Angie's, Thumbtack, all the big companies, right? Right here, this is called the local pack. And this is where Google sincerely wants to answer your question, saying, here are 3 local companies that we know. They actually did everything they could to show us that they are a reputable, wonderful local company. We think you should use these people. Okay, that's the local pack. Try it right now. Input just about anything. Handyman near me, restaurant near me, nachos near me, whatever. Best socks near me. I have no idea. And they will almost always pull up with the 3 right here. Okay, and you'll notice who's at the top. That's us, right? Okay, Breakthrough Handyman Services. We've been in business approximately 3 years. And because we are a legit handyman company, we have 4 or 5 people out there all the time. We don't fudge anything. So yeah, our rating is a little bit lower than the rest of them because we're not Eddie, because we don't have 1 or 2 people in our office. We actually have at least 4 or 5 handyman out in the field every single day. Okay, and we help the public. We help 40, 50 people per week. Okay, and so now we are on a mission to be hands down the top handyman company in the Valley, and we want the world to know about it, which is why part of what you do is the check-in at the end with the caption, and then get the review while you're on site. I can't stress how important it is. While you're on site, you get the review. It's worked into it's step 9, and you get a raving fan at the end. Okay, and that's up to you, the handyman, to make sure that we maintain our number 1 presence, and that's huge. How do we do this? Well, part of it is this. Okay, so let's take let's say over the last, I don't even know, man. Okay, let's go all the time. Okay, so here is Google Ads. Okay, so basically since October 2021, we've spent about 50 grand. Okay, now as of the last few weeks, few months, especially since the beginning of the year, we're really trying to grow. We're purposely going from 4 and 5 handyman to 7 handyman and 8 handyman out. We are now spending $1,800 a week on ads. Okay, $1,800 a week on ads total. So this is just Google Ads. Okay, you also have local Google. Okay, local Google is its own little price point, whatever. I don't even know where you billing. There we go. Okay, and so here's where we pour a good portion of our ads into. Oh, add a backup method. That worried me. I was like, we paid our bill? Yeah, no, like, see, okay, between March 1st and March 3rd, $661. In February, we spent $2,658 here. In January, we spent over $3,500 here. So local ads are where we spend a lot of our sources. So you have generic Google, and then you have local Google. Okay, as if that wasn't confusing enough, we also have Angie's List. All right, which, hold on a second, I called those people. There we go. Oh, we got a new lead. Okay, and Angie's List, while they're the big dog on the field, or whatever you want to call it, we don't like Angie's List. Okay, so everything in this is private. This is proprietary. Your contract is proprietary. There's no sharing any of our secrets after the fact. It's all in the contract as well. Okay, so everything we say here is completely private. Okay, and anything we talk about or do as part of our systems is our systems, okay? And we do that to protect us. You know, you're a breakthrough handyman. What we do here, we work hard to perfect, and that's how we keep you in the field. So we're sharing this to give you an idea of what all goes into it. Okay, so just this one. Let's take Jerry. Okay, so Jerry alone cost us $31. He cost us $41. Or she, sorry. They cost us $29. They cost us $30. So let's say 30, 60, 90, 120, right? At least. And that's today just on Angie's list. All right. Now, do we stop there? No, no, no. We've got even more. We've got a company called Bark. Other leads that we do. Okay. So basically, we have 3 people in the office, and I'm one of them currently that comes in and schedules the living poop out of your schedules. That's what we do. Okay. So before I got pulled away from the office, I was able to book $1,620 for you today. Okay. Our office needs to be free, and the office needs to book because our average job is 3 hours. Okay. So 3 hours times 7 guys, that's 2 jobs. So that's 14, 15 jobs per day we have to schedule to make sure you guys are out there working, right? And so that literally takes a $2,000 a week ad budget, which means we are investing $2,000 per week into you guys. Okay. So basically what that boils down is that we're spending $135 minimum per appointment we get you. Okay. So we invest at least $200 a day into you in general. Okay. And that is how we do it. And so that's why it's imperative that when you see these appointments, man, you take them very, very, very seriously, and you take great care of these customers. Okay. We are a professional company. We have a lot of families that rely on our survival. We have 7 handymen. Each of the handymen have either a wife, a family, kids involved. We have 3 people in the office. All of us are involved. We have a marketing guy. He's got a family. We have a website person. He has a family, right? We have a wonderful accountant. They have a family. All right. You're part of the Breakthrough family. So you're affiliated with the property management company. You're going to meet Ruth. She's the office mom. She's amazing. All right. We have 4 other agents that work on the brokerage side. We are a very close-knit family, and we all live off of the reputation of Breakthrough. So don't take this lightly that you're gonna have appointments. No. This is a full-time job, and you're expected to treat everyone with respect. You're expected to show up on time and represent Breakthrough as Breakthrough is purposely meant to be represented. And that's how everything works properly. Now, here's the cool part. Here's our website. We hands down have the best website. Okay. And kind of what I was mentioning earlier, we jumped through everything for Home Advisor, right? And then right here, got our top list of services. So the customer can come right here and say, oh, how long does it take to install a TV? Oh, usually 45 minutes to an hour. How about a fan light fixture? 45 minutes to an hour. See, it's all there. It totally makes sense. So the customers are not surprised. That way you have happy customers. That's the whole point. We want you to have happy customers. Right now, before we do anything else, go ahead and pause this video. What you're going to do is check your text messages. You should have a text message from House Call Pro. Okay. That is our scheduling system. Your email is your username. Okay. Now it should guide you to set up your password. Okay. You are already in an organization. So if there's any confusion, just hit the button that you forgot your password. Okay. Right there on that thing, just hit the button. It'll take you, download it, and it'll say you enter your username, forgot your password, just forgot your password. Okay. It'll email you and you simply just reset your password. You're the only one that knows your password. Okay. So the office can't help you with this one. All right. Your email is your username. You're going to set up your password. Once you have that set up, go ahead and call the office and we'll be able to help you from there. let's come back to the 10 steps. This is a perfect segue. Step number 1, verify all job questions or issues during business hours the day before the scheduled job. Once scheduled, it must be completed no matter what. You are responsible for the customer. Okay? So this is at the very latest. You have to check your job no later than closing the day before. Okay? That allows us to do everything needed to take care of the customer and take care of you. There are literally 2 factors at stake here, and they cannot be underlined enough. Number 1, a customer is counting on you. We do not look incompetent to customers. We do not leave people hanging. If you can't do the job, if you have any questions, we could possibly reschedule another person to it, and that leaves us enough time to give you another job too, because you still need your hours. We don't do anything the day of. The day before, we make sure everybody's jobs are lined up for the next day, okay? And that is mandatory. The day of, if you call the office, you're not going to have a very pleasant experience because, okay, how do you want to handle your customer? That's all we can do because it's going to be on you. We don't let customers down. That's our biggest slogan, okay? So, we'll find, that's it. Okay, that's another more I could really honestly say about that one. It's that important. All right. Moving on. Step number 2, arrive 15 minutes early to all appointments. We say all appointments, given your day is going smooth, you should show up to 15 minutes early to all of your appointments. But no less than your first appointment, you always show up 15 minutes early to, okay? That allows your day to go smooth. So we expect you to not be late. We actually expect you to be early to your first appointment to guarantee your day goes smooth. Now, step number 3, this is when we start getting into the actual step-by-steps of how breakthrough in particular. Step number 1, step number 2, those are common courtesy and just professionalism. Step number 3 is actually our way of doing things here at Breakthrough. Step number 3, verify the job with the owner, verify the hours, the price, and that someone will be available to take payment at the end. Okay? Fundamentally, what we do is very simple. You show up. We don't do hard jobs to begin with. I can't stress that enough. We don't do hard jobs to begin with. All right? So there shouldn't be much question on almost every job we do. So when you show up on site, you simply verify. If it's anything different than what's listed, let's say it's listed for 3 hours and you think it's going to be 4, just simply talk to the owner. Okay? There's no blame involved. There is absolutely, we're a team. The team got you into that door, so the office did their job, and they were really, really close. Okay? The owner may or may not know exactly what they're talking about. The handyman conveyed the best they could. The office conveyed the best they could what the customer was needing and guesstimated it the best they could without ever being on site. And they're not necessarily handy people themselves. They are knowledgeable and salespeople and office people who do the best to give you your job. Okay? So if it's off by a little bit, it's not like any other handyman's going to make it any different, right? You're already there. Roll with it. Minimize it. Okay? Seriously. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, the job here says it's 3 hours and that we're going to need to, install 4 toilets. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go to the store because this one is whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to need an extra hour or 2. Okay, so you can see it right here. There's nothing, it is what it is, okay? So if 4 hours or 5 hours will be this amount of money, is that okay with you? Yeah, well, that's unfortunate. Is there anything you can do? Well, I'll definitely go as fast as I can, but as you can see, this one here is cracked, okay? So I'm going to have to go exchange it, and I'll go as fast as I can, okay? And so you just do it, right? You are on site. You want to get the job, so we always want to take care of the customer, okay? Next, if it's anything just different in general, you need to talk to the customer about it. Let's say that they bought the materials and they bought the wrong materials. Let's say the job requires a professional electrician and we're not professional electricians, like it legally requires an electrician. Again, you simply verify the job with the owner before you begin. Okay? If it's anything more than we're able to handle, don't stress. This is where What the office says up front paves the way for you. In helping 3,000 plus people, okay, I mean, doing over 3,000 appointments, we've learned a few things, okay? People have done just about every stupid thing imaginable as far as the handyman are concerned, and we've, not to say everybody's bad, but we've encountered enough bad people to have, that's why we have the systems we have in place. That's why you're supposed to take payment on site. That's why you verify the job with the owner. That's why you call the office the moment you get approval. That's why we do every single thing we do to ensure that you are taken care of and the customers are taken care of, and that at the end we ensure a happy transaction for everybody. Okay? So part of that is you having faith in our company, you having faith in the office, in our policies, so that that way, no matter what the customer tells you, you know what we do, and there's no changing what we do. Okay? So sit back and let me tell you a little bit about our policies and procedures as far as the office goes and what we tell the customers when we schedule your appointment. Okay? So we have to acknowledge these 7 things on every single phone call, okay? In whatever way we can, okay? But no matter what, they have to be acknowledged. Number 1, all jobs are billed hourly. We are not, we bid jobs, but that's to give them a guesstimation of how many hours it should take, which is how much it should cost, okay? So that is a guesstimation, what you see there on your invoice, okay? It is not set in stone. We have not seen the job. You are the boss. The moment you get on site, you dictate what it is. That's why you verify the job, and if it's anything different, you simply get permission from the owner, okay? So all jobs are hourly, so more time equals more money. They should know how much it'll cost, okay? Number 2, handyman verify the hours and materials when they get on site, exactly as we said. Number 3, our minimum call is 1 hour. We do not charge a trip fee, okay? That's part of what sets us aside. Pride yourself on that. If anybody's like, well, I don't want to pay it, we'll be like, I know. I don't want to pay a trip fee either. That's why we're not an electrician. We're not those HVAC people. You actually get us for 1 hour. We have a 1 hour minimum call. So if you can't do that job, you gladly find something else to do. You'll take out the trash. You'll dust. I mean, we had a guy that was 6'5", weighed over 300 pounds, and he'd joke about doing nails because it was just, so funny that, you know what I mean? Anything to make the customer happy, because we do have a 1 hour minimum call no matter what, okay? If it requires a licensed professional, that's exactly why we have that. If it exceeds the scope of $1,000, that's exactly why we have a minimum call. If anybody says, well, I need to cancel right in front of you, well, we have a 1 hour minimum call. There's nothing anybody can say that will trump our 1 hour minimum call. It's disclosed on every single phone call, terms and conditions. It's on our website. It's everywhere. Okay. We live off of being a hourly handyman company. No ifs, ands, or buts. Okay. Next we have a cancellation fee, a 24-hour cancellation fee. Okay. So anything less than 24 hours is $85. Okay. Now think of it this way. If a customer has a fee for canceling with less than 24 hours, shouldn't our company hold ourselves to that same standard? And that's exactly why we have if you have any issues, if we're going to hold the customers and charge them $85 for canceling, the handyman should be held just as much accountable. Okay, so we do not cancel less than 24 hours on a customer. Make sense? Okay, drive that one home. Boom. All right. Okay, so $85, and same thing. Right then, you don't even question if we have one. You just say, okay, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, we do have an on-site cancellation fee. So if you're not going to want me to do my services for an hour, we're just going to send you an on-site cancellation fee. So you're sure there's nothing I can do for an hour. Either way, it's going to be $85. What can we do? You know what I mean? Try to soften the blow whatever you can, because we're not in it for fees, okay? We only accept debit or credit card on site before we leave, okay? We do not accept cash or check. There's no question about us not accepting cash or check. We only take debit or credit, and you guys take payment over the phone at the end of every single call, every single time with the office before you leave, every single time. So there's no question about how we take payment, debit or credit. That is all, okay? So, and it must be made on site. So after you finish, you call the customers over. We flat out tell them this. You call the customers over, you verify the finished product, you try to get the 5-star review. At that point in time, you call the office. The office is going to send the invoice. You both take payment together over the phone, but it's up to you to tell them the price. It's up to you to convey everything. You just simply call the office, and the office simply takes the credit card. That is it, okay? We're not responsible for anything that took place on that job. We're only taking a credit or debit card, okay? Payments are made at the end of every appointment before the handyman leaves. And at the same time, if somebody doesn't answer or if somebody's not available, we have a late fee that you charge, and we have a process for that. I'm not going to get into it right now, but we have a process for that. And ultimately, before you leave, you in the office have called that customer like 8 times, and you tacked on a late fee because that almost guarantees they're going to call you. Okay, we don't like to do that, but we have a process for it. We have a process for everything. Okay, now somebody must be available to verify the job and take payment at the end of every single appointment, whether they are on site or not. Okay, now this is going to be probably another question right here popping up. So we do a lot of work for people that aren't on site. Okay, we do work for property management companies. We do work for vacation home people. We do work for realtors that are doing work on listings, investors that are flipping homes. We do a lot of work where the customer is not going to be on site. It does not change any of our processes. You call the customer and you verify the job before you get started. If anything changes, you call the customer. You don't speak to the tenant. Now, this is very, very, very careful. The tenant is not the customer. So the occupant may not be the customer. You always speak to the owner or property manager, okay? And let me bring this back around. The office has no say. So never call the office to tell them the story of the job or ask them for permission or see how you should proceed with anything. It's the customer you're speaking to. It's the customer you're responsible for. You got to speak to the customers, okay? So always look at your job and make sure you're speaking to the customer, okay? Oh, last but not least, our handymen are called out as an alternative to licensed contractors and other professionals. We are paid for our time and our effort. There is no guarantee the problem will not exceed the scope of a handyman. Okay, so that means we understand they're calling us out instead of the electrician, instead of the plumber, instead of the HVAC guy, instead of the contractor. Okay, but that doesn't mean that the job is going to fit our scope still, which is all the more reason why we have our minimum 1 hour service. Okay, so that way you will always get paid for your gas and your time to get there. You should never ever go anywhere without being compensated from the customer, and that's what we laid this foundation for. Okay, so it sounds really harsh all the way around, so we get to the very end. It's like, oh yes, it's actually here to protect you and everybody. Only if you get paid does the company get paid, and that's the only way we all survive. So making the customers happy equals them paying you, which equals the company making money, which means we can keep this whole thing going. Okay, so that's our 7 steps. So rest assured, no matter what the customer tells you, we have mentioned it, we brought it up, and we have protected ourselves. So have all the faith in your 10 steps. Okay? Boom. There we go. All right. All right, coming back to step 3. Now, leading up to it, again, let's say you have grandma, whoever, and she has never had to call a handyman before. She has no idea what's wrong with her toilet. All she knows is that it's running. Okay, there you go. So you show up on site, you realize that the toilet's running because it is basically completely 65 years old. It's the old style. It has an old flapper. It drains like 8 gallons per flush. And it runs for like a year every single time it gets done. Okay, well, there you go. You might need to go to the store. You might need to get a new toilet. You might need to install a new one. That 30 to 40 minute fix where we thought we were just going to exchange a flapper or something like that is now a 3-hour job. Okay, she doesn't know, so you simply call her over. You're helping her, you're guiding her, you are her savior, you are her expert. No matter what shows up in front of you, you're always happy to help, because more hours equals more money for our company. We love that. That's a great thing. You know what I mean? So more hours, a bigger job is wonderful, and we will move heaven and earth to make it happen. Okay? So you simply get their approval, then you call the office. The office can never give you approval, and we're not handyman. So we can't tell you how to fix it or whatever that whole thing is. You know what I mean? Our time is valuable too. We need to be on the phone. So if we're on the phone with you, somebody else can be calling that we're missing. And you guys hate that. What if Home Depot is calling you? What if Home Depot is calling right now because you're at the store? You don't want to be waiting for us to be on the phone hearing a story about something we can't help, because you want to get through Home Depot. You know what I mean? So everyone has their roles, okay? So we're not trying to be rude, but we have to be very short because we are a very fast-paced business, okay? So the owner approves all changes, you call the office, let us know, boom, we update it, boom, you get back to work, okay? And that's where the office comes into action, because at that point in time, you're back to work, man. You're busting out that job. We will handle the rest of your appointments, okay? So let's say the rest of the day you have 2 more appointments. Actually, here, let me pop this up on the screen again and show you instead. Okay, so a prime example would be right here. Okay, so let's say Wednesday, right? You have Josh had this job, Josh had this job, Josh had this job, Josh had this job, right? So let's say Josh, his first job went over for several hours. Well, we would call Carol, we'd move her back, and then depending on what would need to happen, we would call Danielle, move that back, and then we would just switch them around to different people or whatever to make sure your day was taken care of. You shouldn't be on the phone calling 4 different customers. You should be back at work, and that's why you have the office, okay? So that is one of the benefits of having us here behind you. Alrighty? So next, number 4, totally makes sense. All right, so you verify the job with the owner, or you discovered any changes and got permission. Now you get to work, okay? So just to rehash, to keep it easy, verify the job the day before. Arrive to your job 15 minutes early. Verify the job with the owner when you get on site. If there's anything different than listed, simply get their permission, call the office, then get to work, okay? It's that simple. All right, now, number 5, this is when we get on site. Remember, this is very important, okay? We always take before and after pictures. That is an insurance requirement. It's a CYA measure. We always have to take a picture of our before product in case a customer ever comes after us. This is mandatory, okay? So slow down, and this is why we say every one of these are so important, okay? So when you get on site, take that before picture, okay? Now, remember this. You weren't your own work, okay? Just because you can do tile doesn't mean the other guy can do tile. Just because you might be able to do a water heater doesn't mean the other guy can do water heater. You guys are very individual. So before you start any job, you warrant that work. You're going to be the one to come back if anything goes wrong. If the customer's unhappy in any way, shape, or form, the office will look back to you to take care of that customer, okay? So make sure before you start that you have a happy customer, okay? 1 out of 1,000 customers is not going to be good, okay? Know that one, because you don't want to start work for somebody who's going to not pay at the end, okay? So make sure you warrant your work and you handle all owner communication on site, okay? All owner communication on site, okay? The customer, if they call the office, that literally means something's wrong, okay? That's why we say that, okay? If you're late, they'll call the office. If you're not communicating with them properly, they'll call the office. If you're taking too long at the store, they'll call the office. If they're wondering what their bill is or whatever, if you're taking too long and don't have permission, they will call the office. All right? You need to make sure you are staying in front of your customer and properly communicating, and then you call the office if need be. Okay? It's so imperative that they don't call, and forgive me for saying this, but bitch about you to the office. They will exploit it, and we don't want that to happen, because that means the company is probably going to give a discount and the company loses. The company never loses. Okay. We want you to win. That means you have a happy client, which means that client's not calling the office. Make sense? Okay. So Handyman handle all owner communication on site. Owner's obvious. This one is obvious. Okay. Owner explicitly approves all materials and labor costs. Okay. You don't begin work until they approve it. Okay. If they don't approve it, you don't begin work. Okay. And we collect our 1 hour, you try to get the 1 hour service, and you move on. Okay. So no matter what, if they say don't, you just stop there and say, okay, well, this was my service for you. Is there anything else I can do before we wrap up? Okay. So you always need to make sure you're reading between the lines with your customers. That doesn't happen very often, that they'll say, no, don't continue. But you need to handle it if they do. Okay. Sometimes they do run out of money. So we need to find a solution that's happy. It might be coming back in a week or so. Don't think anything of it and just work with the customer. We love the customer. The customer is our friend. The customer is our family. The customer is who provides us a living. We always take care of the customers. Okay. So just make sure, step number 6, make sure no matter what, that the office has the receipts immediately. Okay, part of what the office does behind you to empower you is to make sure everything's set up at the end. So when you call the office to take payment, we're as ready as can be. The invoice is ready, the receipts are there. We're ready with what should be, and we just verify it so you can just quickly take payment and move on. Okay, so make sure we have all the receipts immediately. Lowe's and Home Depot, you simply go to the pro desk, you give them the office phone number, they have our cards on file, we can bust that out really fast. But if you happen to go to Lowe's, Walmart, anywhere other than those two, basically, you're gonna have to do a phone sale, and you're probably going to have to send us the receipt. Okay, so just be aware of that. Okay, now before we go any further, we're gonna pause this video, use the restroom, do whatever you need to do for a few minutes, but then go to your email and you're gonna download Real Work Labs. You will have received an email, okay, and it's a company called Real Work Labs, and this is what we use for our before and after pictures, all right, and our reviews. Okay, so go ahead and pause this video, pop over, and you're just like last time, your email is your username, and you're going to set up your password. Okay, now once you download that, watch the next screen very clearly, because there's one more step involved when it comes to Real Work Labs. Okay, so I'll see you back here in just 1 or 2 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. We just downloaded Real Work Labs. Now, Real Work Labs is such a cool program. Now, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not a computer guy per se, but I have mad respect for the people who know all about search engine optimization, about the marketing details, because they're the ones who ultimately keep us in business. Okay, so we love Real Work Labs. And now, as you know, your before and after pictures, those are mandatory. So what we did is that we took a before and after picture and we not only use it as our CYA, but we broadcast your finished products to the world. Every single job you do, you take your before and after pictures, you upload them into Real Work Labs, and then Real Work Labs sends them out to Google and the world. And every single time you do that, it grows our search engine stuff, it builds our presence, it keeps us fresh. I mean, it does so many great things behind the scenes. Now, that's on the surface. Now, even below that, Real Work Labs does so much. So check this out, okay? So on our website, we have a page called, right up here, behind the scenes, right? Who we are, careers, and then testimonials, okay? Our testimonials, this is actually your site proofs, okay? Now, Real Work Labs takes all of our site proofs, puts them up on our website, puts them up on Google, and then on top of that, it pairs it with your reviews. So let's say somebody says, hey, where is your office located? Well, let's see. We have offices here. All right. Each of these places are where you guys have done jobs. I mean, we could zoom out even more. Check this out. Whoop. There we go. There's the whole valley. Yeah. All right. There's Tempe, Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert. Okay, so technically speaking, we've got 97 offices here, 28 there, 22 here. We've got offices all over the place. And as we scroll down, even more, oh, yep, as we scroll down, you see all of your finished products. So we got a garbage disposal over here. Looks like we got a TV mount here, another TV there, completed checklist, multiple tasks, right? And then there's the 5-star review. Say 5-star review, 5-star review, 5-star review, right? So this is what we do. So when you guys do your real work labs, check-ins and stuff like that at the end of every single job, this is what you do. You help grow the company on such an amazing level, okay? So here's real work labs. And we keep track of all your site proofs, okay? So at the end of the day, we want to make sure you have them and they happen instantly. So here in Real Work Labs, we can see, today, right? So you can see each of the guys doing their site proofs just like they're supposed to, which is perfect. Exactly, right? And then reviews. Okay, so Cliff yesterday gave 5-star review. Unfortunately, this was a guy we had to let go. And this was a guy we had to let go. This week, unfortunately, we had to let 2 people go because they did not do good jobs. They were not professional handymen. And this is actually affiliated with one of those as well. So just know that, yeah, unhappy customers, that's what we mean. Any complaints, obviously, as much as we may love you as a person, a 1-star review means you didn't do a good job. The customer wasn't happy. And if the customer's not happy, we all service the customer. So that's unfortunate. But this is Real Work Labs. Finishing up with step 6. Now, the Pro Desk, make sure you just give them the office number again. So it's going to be on the screen. So make sure you write this down. 602-938-5415. Okay, they have a card on file. Now, if possible, okay, when you call, if we're on the other line, unfortunately, it's either going to ring through or go to voicemail. Leave a voicemail. Okay, don't just call back a bunch of times. It's not going to change anything, and it actually prevents us from actually getting back to you faster. If you leave a voicemail, let me show you this, okay? So rest assured, we will see it. All right, in our call system right here, see, we can see missed calls, okay? I mean, these are calls out, okay? But right here, whenever, oh, geez, this is awesome. We didn't have many missed calls, okay? So we can see a missed call, okay? But right here, we don't know who it is on the surface. Like, we don't necessarily know. So just leave a voicemail, okay? And tell us. And we could actually pull up the voicemail and we could see your message. Hey, I'm at the Pro Desk. Call me back ASAP. It's like, oh, dang. Okay, we will. Okay? So we will go out of our way to take care of you. We don't want you waiting. We don't want you wasting time. I understand. It's embarrassing. You don't want to circle back around, okay? So that's part number 1. Now, part number 2 is we do front materials for our customers, okay, with a few caveats. Okay, so number 1, up to $250, okay? Anything more than $250 is more than a handyman company is willing to front. So it's not, we'll go up to, and then they'll front the difference. If it's over $250 in general, we do not front it at all. They pay for the entire thing, okay? Next, legally, we have to keep our job under $1,000. Okay, so make sure that including the material charge, including your bill, what does that come up to? Okay, sometimes we don't know how much materials are going to be up front, and so you're going to have to factor that in. Oh, I have a $700 bill and materials, I mean, not $700 bill, but I'm going to be here for like 8 hours, and so the bill is going to be this much, and we're going to go over with 2 people. Whatever the situation might be, you need to make sure you just factor it in. Okay, if you're going to be there for 2 days, you might have a $1,000 bill already, and we can't front any materials because you're at $1,000 legally. You know what I mean? So just make sure you keep an eye on that one. Okay, so we talked about maxing, fronting. Oh, okay, so bad news. If you ever do miss a material charge, we do deduct that from your paycheck. Okay, it's that important that we never miss a material charge. Okay, you can be somewhere for 2 hours, that's $170, and you could have a $200 charge at Home Depot. We could lose money just by missing one receipt. Okay, so to avoid that, that's also why you call at the end of every single appointment. Okay, to ensure we never miss one. So be aware that there is a harsh penalty, but every step is in place to make sure you never miss one. So take that checkout call very seriously, okay? They're going to ask you, do you have any receipts? Just in case, or we have your receipt. Make sure everything is there, the right amount of hours, the right amount of receipts. That's why you call at the end, okay, to make sure it's perfect. Okay, so I think after that, calling at the end. Make sure you always call at the end of the appointment. Always. Okay, so that's it for step number 6. Let's go ahead. Did I just do all of that and I wasn't even sharing my screen? Doggone it. Okay, so here we go. All right, so let me show you something really, really cool, okay? Because we never want you guys left hanging or anything like that. So if you call us and we're ever on the other line, we'll see it pop up here. But unfortunately, oftentimes we'll just see Home Depot. We can't call them back, okay? So leave us a message. That way we know who is at Home Depot, okay? So tell them to leave a message. Don't just hang up. This means they hung up. This means we had to wait for hopefully someone to call back. Oh, there we go. A few minutes later. See? Okay, so if you just leave a message, we can call you right back and you're good to go like instantly, okay? If we're both on the phone trying to book appointments, or all three of us, it will just go immediately to voicemail, okay? It's a good thing because we're booking appointments for you. We're never just going to ignore a phone call. I promise we'll never just ignore a phone call, okay? So leave a voicemail and we could actually see it while we're on the other line, right? So we can physically be on the other line and then we could just pop down here and it'll say, hey, this is blah, blah, blah. I'm at Home Depot. Give me a call back. And as soon as we get off the other line, we'll see who it was. We can call you back independently. Okay? So rock it. We will never, ever leave you hanging while you're at Home Depot. Okay? I understand how frustrating it is while you're at the pro desk. You want somebody to be available. Okay? So that's why we now have 3 people in the office. And we do our best to make sure you guys are never left hanging. Okay? But just know if you are, it's because we're making an appointment for you. So patience. We love you. You love us. We work together. Okay. All right. So that's it on step 6. Let's go ahead and move on to step 7. All right. Step 7. In the event there is an issue, repeat steps 3 and 4. Okay. So repeat steps 3 and 4. Well, verify the job with the owner. If there's anything different, get their approval, call the office, get to work. That simple. Okay. Keep it that simple. I don't want to say we love issues, but we love it when we get to help people. We love it when jobs kind of go over because that's just job security. You know what I mean? It makes sense. So don't feel guilty. It's not your fault. It's not like you broke it. Okay. It's not like any other handyman can go there and make it any better or faster or easier. You are the expert. That's why we hired you. You're the best, right? So make sure you just simply bring the owner right over. Show them what the issue is. See if they can take part. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Owner, try to grab it. See if it works for you. See if you can unscrew it. I don't know. Here, let's see if we can lift it together. I have no idea. You know what I mean? Bring the owner in. Make sure they know it. Simply get their permission and bring them bring them in with a hug type thing. You know what I mean? Don't be like adversarial. Oh my God, this is that in the office. No, Mr. and Mrs. Owner. See this? It just popped up. Unfortunately, I'm going to need 2 more hours. I wish, obviously, this was out of everybody's hands. You see it right here. This sucks. Do you want to try to see if you can do it? Because I did the best I could. So I'm going to have to run to the store, get whatever piece or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Cross the bridge, but cross that bridge with the owner together. Okay. And make sure you're talking to the owner. Again, not the tenant. Okay. All right. So a few things here about step number 7. Okay. Oftentimes, if there's any changes, number 1, remember the owner didn't know to begin with. Okay. That's why they called you the expert. They don't know the full details and they don't need to know how the clock works. They just need to know how to tell time. So keep it simple for them and make them want to use us. Okay. It is what it is. Of course, we want to follow through to the very end. Let's keep running with this. So simplify it and make it happy. They call us knowing they're trying to save money. Okay. So if there's any way we could usually save the job, they're very, very happy, because that means it saves them from having to pay us our minimum fee. Plus, they're not going to have to call an expert, quote unquote, licensed contractor, electrician, plumber, etc., and pay even more money. Okay. So be the hero. Try to save it whatever possible. Okay. If need be, call the office behind the scenes. And if you can't do the job, let's see if one of our other guys can, and then come back to the owner with the solution. Okay. But the office can't, we're not the experts, and we can't answer for the owners. You know what I mean? So if you come to us, hey, do any of our guys do this? We can be like, yeah, one of our guys can. Okay. Can one of them get out here like now? You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to solve it for your owner, and the office helps you. Okay. The office helps you solve it for your owner, and we will, and let us know how we can take part in helping you. You know what I mean? Okay. So next to that, trying to save the job. We talked about it. Okay. So here's one of the funny things. Okay. A job will go wonky when the job will go wonky. We can't control it. It could be the job went wonky when you first got there, i.e. you show up and the owner said it was a 6-inch by 8-inch hole. Come to find out it's a 24-inch by 36-inch hole. They just were way off, or they thought they would save money. You know what I mean? Most of the time they tell you what they do thinking it's going to save money. Okay. And that's what I'm coming back to is the owner does the best they can, but you have to remember the owners. Okay. They want to save money. That's why they're calling us to begin with. Okay. So they might minimize a job to begin with. Okay. So when you get there, that's oftentimes why it might seem like, well, the office wrote down this. No. It's because the owner told us that, and they were trying to save money. It's not an intent thing. It's not a blaming thing. It's an honest to God, put yourself in the customer's shoes. Okay. If they can say it's going to be smaller and it would be 3 hours, and there's some way you could still make it 3 hours, it's a win for them. Okay. So it's all good. All right. If you get there and the job's bigger than what you think, it's all good. Share with them what it really is. Okay. And it is what it is. Okay. So just remember that. Always help, come alongside. Don't blame. Okay. Don't point fingers. Don't feel guilty. Sometimes you guys almost seem like you're the one that broke it. It's like, no, man, it was broken when you got there. You didn't do anything wrong. You know what I mean? We're trying to help them. They called us for help. You're the savior, so come alongside, help, guide. You know what I mean? And then, okay. So time is always money. Okay. So this has a big asterisk next to it. Time is money. So if somebody says, hey, I'm going to need another 3 hours, the customer will think free. 3 hours. That's fine. 3 hours. Go for it. Whatever you need, do it. Okay. 3 hours is not free. 3 hours is $255. Okay. So when you say, hey, ma'am, I'm going to need 3 more hours, that will be $255. I almost even said it just now, unfortunately. Take that out. Okay. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Owner, I'm going to need 3 more hours. As we discussed, here it is. That'll be $255 more. Do I have your permission to proceed? Okay. Yes or no. Once you have permission, you call the office. Hey, I got permission to be here for 3 more hours, $255 more. Go ahead and put it on the invoice. And if you can't, call my customers. The rest of the people for the rest of the day, I'll be here. Thank you. Click. Done. Quick and easy. Okay. Minimize it. Get back to work. All right. That's it. All right. So that's step number 7. Pada pim, pada boom, right there. In the event there's an issue with the job, repeat steps 3 and 4. All right. So next, step number 8. Finish the job professionally. Clean up all messes. Leave it better than when you got there. Whole job, every job, each time. Okay. This is precisely when you stop, and the very next thing you're going to do is take pictures of your finished product. Okay. So, that picture of the finished product will dictate everything. Okay. And that is the final taste you're going to leave in the customer's mouth. So make sure that you leave the place just as clean, if not cleaner, than when you got there. Step number 9, checkout procedure. This is huge, okay? This is everything, all right? When it comes to what we started this video with when it came to your Pilot, your Big Mac, whatever it might be. This checkout procedure is what it is every single time, all 4 steps, every single job, no matter what. Okay, if you do this step by step, you will protect the office, you will get paid, you will get your review bonus, you will cover your butt no matter which way you cut it, and your appointments will end happy. Okay, step number 9 is what everything culminates to, is us finishing up with the customer and taking payment. Okay, so here we go. All right, so you start off, okay, you finish the job, you cleaned up your mess. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do a little role playing here, but I want to show you the Real Work Lab side proof, the before and after picture. Okay, your spiel with what it is, your owner review, you call the office, you take payment. Okay, ready? Here we go. Stop share. Okay, so I just finished my job. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna come down in my app and I'm gonna open up Real Site. Okay, so you notice Real Site right there. Oh, it's kind of all wonky. Right there, Real Site. Okay, Real Site. We go ahead and open it up. Okay, the very first thing you see is this. Okay, ignore this down here because you haven't made one yet. Okay, so it says new job site. All right, well, the good news is right over here in our CRM, whichever CRM it'll be, no matter which way you cut it, it will always have the owner information. Okay, so in this case, let's go ahead and use the office. Okay, so go ahead and let's stop and see right here, email and phone number and name. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this together. Okay, so open up Real Work Labs. Okay, the real site. All right, now in your case, you're going to type in customer name, Breakthrough Handyman Services. Okay, customer phone number, go ahead and put in the office phone number, 602-938-5415. Customer email. All right, and it'll be all on the screen as well. Okay, I'm looking over here because this is where you are right now. Forgive me. All right, info, info, at breakthroughhandyman.com. So once again, that's info, info, at breakthroughhandyman.com. So this is what your screen should show right now. Okay, then at the bottom, it should automatically geolocate to where you are at this moment. Okay, now if you see that, we're perfect, good to go. Okay, if it's not your actual address, go ahead and just put in your proper address and it should find it. Okay, so then click the button, add site. Okay, now it takes back to this screen. Okay, so go ahead and click new site proof, and exactly what that is. See, site proof. It's proof you were on site. This is our CYA. This is what insurance requires. I can't tell you how many times these pictures have saved us over the course of 3,000 plus customers. Okay, only 1 out of every couple hundred goes bad, but even when you're dealing with 1 out of 400 customers, that means we've had, a good nearly 10 bad customers, throughout the years. So we do whatever we can to avoid them. You know what I mean? So, okay, so let's say you have your before picture, boom, upload video right there. Upload media, okay? All your before pictures will be there, so just pick that up. Now you're here afterward, okay? Take picture, all right? So I'm gonna click take picture, and let's pretend I did this, I don't know, let's say I did this fan, okay? All right, so here you got picture of the fan right there. Okay, now it pops up with the job site. Now caption. Now this is huge. Okay, so you'll see right there on the 10 steps, it breaks down what you're supposed to put in your caption. Okay, so let's go ahead and share the screen again, and boop, pop here, caption. Okay, where, what, happy customer, handyman. Okay, so keep it simple. Okay, I love to use talk to text. All right, so another happy handyman customer in Peoria with a working fan. Smiley face. So, okay, so here you go, right there. Okay, happy. Okay, number one, happy customer. Word handyman. Peoria. Fan. Right? Hits all 4 boxes in one sentence. Another happy handyman customer in Peoria with a whatever it is. Okay? Another happy handyman customer in Mesa with a brand new faucet. A happy handyman customer in Mesa with fixed fascia. Okay, you can literally accomplish whatever you want with one sentence. Okay, so it's very simple to do this caption. Just make sure it has those 4 things: what you did, where you did it, happy customer, the word handyman. Boom. Okay, those 4 things every single time. All right, takes you saw it. What did that take? 5 seconds to do? Okay, so take a moment, come up with your first caption. All right, take your picture, and then when you're done, go ahead and hit submit. Okay, let's try that again. Submit. There we go. All right, once you finish that, it'll pop up right here. You just did your first site proof. Congratulations. Took you about, maybe what, 2 or 3 minutes to do your first one, okay? But moving forward, you could do it in about 30 seconds, okay? So just give yourself 2 or 3 times, all right? I'll admit this is the kind of most annoying thing that we do in the bunch, but it's all good. It packs the most punch. That's why it's so important, all right? So now that you have your site proof, okay, the very next thing you're gonna do is call the owner over, all right? So this is a literal role play, okay? So you'll call the owner over. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, check out that fan right there. Doesn't it look amazing? And Mr. and Mrs. Smith, yes, of course, that looks fantastic. That's fantastic. Hey, Mr. Smith, if I send you a link really quick, would you mind giving me a 5-star Google review? I get a bonus, and it actually does wonders for my company. It takes like 30 seconds. Okay, I can send it to you right now. Would you mind doing that for me really fast? Oh, no, sure. That's great. You did a fantastic job. Wonderful. That's great, Mr. Smith. Okay, I'm going to do that right now. Simply hit the plus sign. Boop. Request review right there. All right. Boop. Okay, right here it'll say job site. Boop. And wouldn't you know, your job that you just did is right there on top. There you go. Okay. It's all there, all the information. You simply hit submit. Okay. Done. All right, Mr. Smith, you got the review. Hey, while you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and call my office. We're gonna go ahead and get your invoice ready really quick. Okay. I'll be finishing up right around the same time. Sound good? Great. All right, perfect. Thank you. Okay. Boom. Now that he's doing the review, you simply call the office. All right. Hey, it's probably gonna be John or somebody else. Hey, John, it's Josh. Yeah, here I'm over at Mr. Smith's house. Yeah, man, I just finished up. It went really well. He's giving me the 5-star review right now. I did my site proof, everything. So we're ready to check out. Yep, 4 hours, just like we talked about. I told you earlier. Yep, got the materials there, $64. Perfect. Nope, no comeback visits. We finished this one up good. Okay, perfect. All right, hold on 1 second. Great. Hey, Mr. Smith. John at the office just emailed you your invoice. Okay. Now you could either pay via the email or you can pay really quick over the phone. It's way easier if you just pay over the phone really quick. So if you want, here, I'll hand John over. Take your debit credit card really quick. Okay. It's that simple. Okay. The whole checkout procedure should take maybe 3 minutes max from the time you finish your job to the time you finish payment. Okay. It's 4 steps. We do it every single time. And notice how the owner did the review right in front of you before you took payment. There's strategy there. Every single one of these things is there for a reason, on purpose. This is how you get your 5-star review. Our top handymen they average 80-90% 5-star reviews. So it is certainly doable to be able to get your 5-star reviews. Okay, so doable. All right, and then right after that, you simply politely thank the owner and help them with any future needs. Like, seriously, on the way out, if you can, find some stuff. I mean, don't be ridiculous, but we want to come back out. We want to help them, we want to stay fresh in their minds. Okay, so if you can find something else to do before we leave, great, but that's the whole point. Just thank them and let's leave, make sure you left a happy taste in their mouth. This is how you complete a job, start to finish, okay? Starts off the night before, verify, show up early, verify the job when you get on site, get to work, make sure you keep all the stuff in mind and do it, make sure the office has your receipts, again, handle it if there are any issues, finish up the job, take payment exactly as step number 9 says, thank the owner, we take off, right? Okay, all goes well, you do this, and you get a total of 32 hours at the end of the week, okay? Now let's go over your paycheck because this is how we calculate everything. Now that you went through your entire job and you got paid for your job, your goal at the end of the week is that you're going to get paid for 32 billable hours. And 32 billable hours qualifies you for what we classify as full-time work. In other words, you get paid for a full 42 hours because you've maxed out your drive time and your gas and all that good fun. So to continue this along, let's go ahead and go over your paycheck. Just a reminder, paychecks are every Friday for the previous week accumulation. So standard accumulation, Sunday through Saturday. And so your goal throughout that entire week is to get 32 billable hours. And then you can see right here how the billable hours accumulate drive time. And then right here, how the billable hours accumulate your gas allowance. Then you have your bonus, deductions, and then bonuses. Okay, so starting from scratch, let's say you work Monday through Friday. Your goal to get your 32 hours is 6 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours. That's 32 hours right there. Okay, and then you would have seen it popped up as we continue to fill these in that these filled in as well. Okay, so 1 day of work, 1 hour drive time. 2 days of work, 3 hours of drive time. 3 days of work, 5 hours of drive time. 4 days of work, 7.5 hours of drive time. A full 5 days of work, 32 hours there equals 10 hours. Okay, down here, same thing, 25 to 50 to 80 to 125 to $200. So at 32 hours, you've accumulated your full 10 hours of drive time plus $200 in gas allowance. Okay, now if you scroll down, your hours bonus, that is for getting at least 32 hours. So we'll add that. And then your reviews, that's your 3 reviews or more every single week in and week out. So every week, as long as you get your at least 3 reviews, you get your reviews bonus. And that's how you get your $1,240, exactly as we discussed. Whoever interviewed you, no matter what, we always talk about the 32 hours. That is it in a snapshot. Okay, now just to show how it's just a snapshot, instead of working Monday through Friday, let's say you did your 6 hours on Sunday and then took Wednesday and Thursday off and then worked 7 hours on Saturday. Still 32 hours, okay? But you get paid more for working Saturdays and Sundays, okay? So under bonus time, notice it's $5 right there. So we'll add 6 hours here and we'll add 7 hours there. That's an extra $65 on your paycheck for just working the weekend. So that paycheck would be $1,305 instead. Okay, now let's say one of those days you went out of area. And when we say out of area, here's a prime example. Okay, this week, here's a normal week. Let's use Jesse. Okay, started off for Claudia. Okay, and then next job is Brenda. So that's 1 hour of drive time that we naturally work in. And then a second drive to Beverly. Okay, so that's a typical day. Three jobs in a day equals 2 drives. Okay, 2 hours of drive time. Well, you can see on Wednesday that Josh, on the other hand, had 1 job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs. Okay, so he had 1 drive, 2 drives, 3 drives total. That third drive right there, automatically, anytime there's a fourth job in a day, i.e. third drive, you automatically qualified for a 3rd hour drive time. Okay, so right here, you would see whatever, it was a Wednesday, so we got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Right here, you would see an extra 5. Okay, for that extra hour plus that extra little bit of gas for doing that extra little bit. So there you go. So just by going to 1 extra hour of drive time, that paycheck is now $13.30. Okay, now that's 43 hours instead of 42. Okay, so his paycheck is literally just $90 more by working weekends and 1 extra hour, basically. Okay. But let's say you have a great week and you really just want to work. So let's say you've got 7 hours one day, 8 hours another day, and then you got 7 hours another day. And then, let's say, okay, yeah, let's go 9 and 8. There we go. Okay. So 38 hours. Okay. 38 hours literally qualifies you an extra days, basically the day's worth of work. So right there, you automatically qualified again for more bonus because that's an extra everything. Okay. So you get an extra hour of, not deduction. Are you kidding me? Jiminy Christmas. So you would get an extra hour worth of work plus an hour's worth of drive time too. Okay. So literally, pada pim, pada poom. Whoa, there you go. That would be a $1,495 paycheck, okay? But that's because you worked your tail off. I mean, 38 hours, that's a 48-hour work week, okay? So a 48-hour work week, including weekends, could get you an almost $1,500 paycheck, okay? Now, to have some fun here, okay, that's $1,495 divided by 48, 38, so that's 49 hours, right? At that point in time, let me stop sharing my screen so I could actually see this. Okay, so you're actually seeing this, $1,495, okay? And you did work an extra 1 hour, because you did an extra out of area drive, okay? But you just put in a ton of billable hours, 38 billable hours, including weekends, okay? You're now getting paid $30, $30.51 an hour. Okay, so if you're willing to put in more time, you actually make more per hour for the time you work. Okay, so if you put in less than 24 hours, yeah, you are going to get paid less money per hour. Okay, because you didn't qualify for the allotments, which get greater and greater and greater as you go. Okay, so we want to empower you to want to work because you get paid better the more you work. Okay, I hope that really makes sense. All right, but if you have any questions, these get sent out every Thursday. Okay, so you know what you're going to get paid for on Friday. Okay, the office does the payroll. Usually it's John. Okay, so if you have any questions, just call the office. John usually closes because he's the one that handles all the, takes payment with you guys. That's why he handles this stuff. So just John or whoever is handling payroll, they'll gladly answer any questions you have. We use QuickBooks on purpose, and you guys take payments together, and you, the handyman, dictate how many hours we're billing for. So there should be absolutely no question as to how many hours we're billing for each week, because you're taking payment on site before you leave yourself with the office. Okay, so that completes the picture 100%. All right, so that wraps up payroll. Now, next thing we're going to do is go ahead and pause the video now. Go ahead and call the office for the second time. And now you're going to set up more appointments, set up your schedule, okay? And make sure you have your first job set up and any questions you might have. And this is your second call to the office. So this is your second check-in. This is what we're keeping track for. Go ahead and start the video again when you're ready. And we're going to wrap up with a few other odds and ends. Welcome back. We're almost done. Just a few odds and ends to finish up with here, and then we'll get you on your way and out to your first appointments. It's so exciting getting new handyman out. It's a sign of growth. It's a sign of being able to help more people. It's a sign of being able to provide jobs for more handymen I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So again, welcome aboard, and let's go over a few other details. Okay, so on-site cancellations, same-day cancellations, out-of-area fees. Okay, so this is loaded, but all of these we charge fees for. Okay, and those fees are how you get paid for your time and extra things. Okay, so on top of like a fourth job, which is you just putting in extra time, deserves more more compensation because you're literally putting in more time. Whereas customers will do things. Okay, so a customer may live out of area. Let's say you live in Mesa. Out of area might be Apache Junction, Queen Creek, Maricopa. Okay, well, if a customer is willing to pay us an extra hour or two to go out there, of course we're willing to go out there, and we convey that to you. So you'll get an extra hour's bonus of drive time for going out to said areas. Okay, on the same thing, if it's a same-day cancellation fee or an on-site cancellation, you help us collect it. You're the face. Okay, so an on-site cancellation, we're relying on you to make sure, oh, you handle it right then and there, and you go ahead and send the payment and try to handle it right then and there, same as always. Okay, it's not a billable after the fact. We do not do any billables after the fact. Okay, so on-site cancellations can be a little bit tough. All right, but we're all in this together to try to get you paid, but you're the one on site. You're the collateral. Okay, and so that leads to the next one, which would be number 2, is taking payment on site. And I need everybody stop and listen very, very carefully to this one right here. Okay, you are always standing inside the home in front of the customer, verifying the job, i.e. taking payment as well, inside the home. You never go outside to discuss anything with the office or to go over the bill. You always handle it right then and there in front of the customer. You never go outside. That is another opportunity that a 1 out of 1,000 customers can do something stupid. You know what I mean? So we just avoid it. Okay, so follow these instructions very, very literally. Okay, if a customer is not on site, you still stay at the home and you call the office. You get the invoice ready, and then you turn around and call that owner and verify the job just as if they're standing in front of you. You answer all their questions, make sure they're good, and then you go ahead and say, great, the office already sent you the invoice. It's exactly what we discussed. If you can, go ahead and take payment. And our cue is that they will mention processed, okay, that it's processed, and they will be able to confirm that it is. Okay, so that's your cue that a payment has been made. Okay, if they're going to pay via email, they can turn around their phone and show you that processed payment. Okay, that's your cue that they made it. You never take word. We never take anything for chance with our company. It's all right there in front of us. And so that's how we guarantee everything goes smooth. Okay, we are very detail oriented, which is odd, but that's how we're a professional company. And that's how we guarantee you guys get paid very well, because we take payment for every moment you guys are there. And the only way we can do it is by customer service. You guys have to communicate with the customers very, very well. Okay, which is why you're on site. They're right there. Just make it a natural source of communication and have fun. Okay. So next, that naturally leads to we're not for everybody, and we're not, you know, what you might move, you might relocate eventually, you might need to give us notice. Okay, you might need to quit for whatever reason. Now, very clearly, our only job, the only thing we can do is fill your calendar as a company, and we pay great money to fill your calendar. We pay the staff, insurances, how, you know, all of our programs to make sure that that's what we do, to fill your calendar. Okay, so all we ask is that you give us notice. In other words, say, hey, I'm giving notice today. Send us an email, whatever it is, and we will stop scheduling you. You don't need to give a full 2 weeks notice. We literally just fulfill what's on your calendar. Okay, and if it's far enough out, like next week or whatever, we could probably reschedule those to other people, or unassign those and give them to other people. Okay, as long as you give us notice and don't leave any customers hanging, then you fulfilled your notice. We'll give you a great letter of recommendation. We'll take you back. I mean, everything. Okay. We want to end on good terms. Just because we weren't meant to work together doesn't mean we can't be friends. You know what I mean? And we hope to keep it that way. Okay. So simply give notice. And on the flip side, though, because there are customers on the line, it is the public we are trusting you with. There are definitely certain things that can never happen in our company. And unfortunately, because you are 1099 and because our company fronts everything, we risk everything to put you in front of a customer that we can't monitor. We have to put some precautions in place. Okay. So let me go ahead and get some housekeeping out of the way to make sure everybody's clear on certain things. Okay. So number one, any appointments that are left on your calendar or any breach of contract, okay, basically equals what we talked about, the $135 that it costs for each of those appointments. So if you were to quit, i.e. give us no notice, the company will be forced to deduct $135 per appointment that is on your calendar at that moment. Okay. And chances are you're going to have several that day, several the next day, and probably a couple over the next few days after that. So more than likely, you will probably have 6 to 8 appointments on your calendar. Okay. And so everybody is on the same page. Okay. Because when appointments aren't made, nobody makes money. Okay. And far from it, because the company, let's say you have 8 appointments on your schedule that you don't perform. The company had spent $1,104 on those appointments, and that's what we were counting on minimum to be brought in. Okay. And therefore, that's what will be deducted, because there's never any reason to hurt people. Okay. And fundamentally, it's the customers. The customers called our company. The company set up the appointment for you with that customer. So the company has nothing to do with anything at that point in time. It's you and the customer. As long as you take care of your customers, the world's a happy place. Okay. And we will always go out of our way to help customers being taken care of. Okay. We don't want you guys to ever get hurt. We don't want anybody to get hurt. That's the whole point. Okay. So just give proper notice, and that's all we ask. Okay. Same thing if you miss an appointment. If anything were to happen as far as materials or anything, just refer to this handyman liability and whatnot spot. Okay. And then below that is where all the payment stuff is. And then you get to the incentives. So all the good stuff. Okay. And here's where we go into termination, just how you fulfill it. Okay. They're required to fill the properly complete all currently scheduled ops. It's that simple. Okay. So we have it all laid out everywhere. Okay. Your 15-minute late window, the whole thing. Okay. So any questions, please refer to your document, refer to the office beforehand. We don't want any miscommunication. We certainly don't want anybody to be angry or hurt over something that's already in writing. You know what I mean? Okay. So please, the office number then. Okay. So that's the next thing is, again, at the bottom, 602-938-5415. And then the email address is info at breakthroughhandyman.com. Okay. So we'll have those up there for a minute so that way you can write them down. Make sure you write them down. Okay. You're going to need those on a regular basis. Okay. Now, staff and handyman, we're all a team, and you can't exist without the staff. The staff can't exist without you. None of us can exist without helping a certain amount of customers every single week. Okay. The staff's job is to handle everything behind the scenes, to book your appointments, and to make sure you have job security. Okay. Your job is to fulfill those appointments and make sure that the customers are happy and that you collect payment on every single minute you're out there, and to make sure you have raving fans at the very end. The two of those things combined are how we stay in business and how we're successful. Okay. The staff, they're not handyman, and you're not staff. Okay. So for the staff to know the details of your job, it would be crazy. And for you to know the details of their job is crazy too. Okay. So let's all respect each other. And together we are a company. We are Breakthrough. And together we can help customers. And together we can do a lot of good. Okay. So although you're out in the field and you're almost probably never going to see the office staff in person, that doesn't mean we're not all a team and we're not all people. Okay, so remember that. Take a step back. We're all here to help. And remember, companies, remember when you watch TV and movies and everything like that, accidents happen. Okay, people get in tiffs, misunderstandings, people get written up, people get suspended, different things like that. It's life. So let's go through life together and let's make it as happy as possible, and just let's be nice and love on one another. Okay. We have a monthly meeting. Okay, so any of the handyman, we definitely do get face-to-face. Okay, so next week we actually have training on a new program, for example, in this case. But in general, when you're watching this video, we have our monthly meeting. Make sure you get put on the schedule for that. Once you do finish your first job, we will arrange for you to get your shirt. So make sure you notate that. Okay, and then your time off requests and anything in general. Ultimately, you get to choose your days off, okay? But they are solid. We need a solid commitment. That's how we schedule you. You're going to be scheduled jobs days in advance, okay? So if you need to request time off, request time off. But that means that if you ever see anything on your calendar, that means somebody made a mistake, okay? And you need to call them immediately to get that taken care of, okay? Make sure you'll see they'll create an event, okay? And an event or day off, so it's blocked off. Okay, it's not anybody's like if I come in, for example, and I schedule a job and I don't know you're off, I might make a mistake. It's an honest accident because I'm trying to give you job security. I see an opening, I want to fill it. You know what I mean? Which is a good thing. Okay, call the office, make sure it's taken off. That's literally what I'm getting at, is you're taken care of when it's off your calendar. By the time you get off the phone, make sure it is off your schedule and there is no question that it is done. Okay, and that's how you request time off. You make sure it's properly handled and given notice. Okay, so give us 4 or 5 days notice. If nothing's already there, we can block it off easy. Okay, once something's there, that customer takes priority. Okay, and that is what it is. I'm sure you guys understand. You know what I mean? Okay, so we're there for you. And then yeah, I think that's about it. Okay, so if you have any questions, go ahead and call the office again, 938-5415. There are plenty of growth opportunities. We're here in Phoenix right now. We have a presence down in Tucson. So if you want to grow down in Tucson, we would love to talk to you about that. Prescott, Flagstaff, Sedona, and Sholo. Those are the areas that we want to take off next. Okay. And so, and then eventually, once we get up to our 10th or 12th handyman, we're going to be bringing in somebody for a full-time supervisor position, which is on salary plus commission. So we've got lots of growth opportunities there. All right. So thank you so much. We are so excited to have you on the team. You are the breakthrough in this industry. All right. I hope this didn't scare you off, because it's there for a reason. And believe it or not, it's to protect you and make sure you get paid, and to make sure you can grow and make sure we can help a lot of people. Okay, so let's have fun. Let's grow together. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the family. You are the best. You are the breakthrough in the handyman industry. Go out there and have fun. We'll talk to you later.